All right, sixth graders, we're going to talk about how to divide fractions today. And we're going to use a concept that maybe you're familiar with, but the word here is reciprocal. Okay, repeat that word. Reciprocal. Reciprocal. Okay, reciprocal. A reciprocal is a number. And it's a number in fraction form flipped upside down. So when you're given a fraction, for example, 1 over 4, if you flip that fraction over to 4 over 1, these two numbers are called reciprocals of each other. Okay? 1 over 4 and 4 over 1 are reciprocals. Repeat that. 1 over 4 and 4 over 1 are reciprocals. 3 over 5 and 5 over 3 are reciprocals. 3 over 2 and 2 over 3 are reciprocals. What do you notice about these? Bryce?
That the 3 is on the top and the 3 is on the bottom, and the 2 is on the bottom and the 2 is on the top.
Correct, so they're flipped upside down, right? It's the flat fraction flipped upside down. Okay? Now, the product of those two reciprocals is 1. Just remember that for later. But that's what reciprocals are. They're two numbers that when you multiply them together, they would equal 1. Is that true for this one? 1 times 4 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. So 4 over 4. That equals 1, doesn't it? Or if we reduce this and cancel out the 4's, we would have 1. If we crossed out or reduced this one, we would get 1. If we reduce this one, we'd get 1. So reciprocals, when you multiply them, they equal 1. Okay? Now, how would you figure out the reciprocal of 1? Oh, let's see. 1 1/2. What would you have to do with 1 1/2 in order to find its reciprocal? You'd have to rewrite it as a fraction. What is the fraction of 1 1/2? What is the fraction, the top heavy fraction of 1 1/2? Abby?
3 over 2.
3 over 2. What's the reciprocal of 3 over 2?
2 over 3.
2 over 3. So once you have the fraction, then you can find its reciprocal. Okay? Now, if that's the case, then, oops, let me see. Let's see this in a page or this. Then what would be the fraction, or I'm sorry, the reciprocal of the number 4? What would we have to do first? Daria?
Make it into a fraction.
Make it into a fraction. And then write its reciprocal.
4.
Good. You see that? If you have a whole number and you write the whole number as a fraction, then you can find its reciprocal. Okay? Now, how about a decimal? Can you find the reciprocal of a decimal? Yeah. What if, how about this one? 0.04. Max?
You would switch the 4 and the 0?
Well, how would you write that as a fraction?
Oh, it's a fraction.
First you'd read it as 4 what?
Oh,
4 tenths. And then reduce it to
2/5.
2/5. And then find its reciprocal. What is that?
5
5/2. Very good. Okay. Now, here's how we're going to do this. Here's how we're going to use this. When you're dividing fractions, everybody write this down. To divide fractions, comma, multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second fraction. Okay. So we have to first change the problem from division to multiplication to times. Second, we have to flip the second fraction. And then third is to multiply. Okay? So, what do we have to do first? Change the problem to multiplication, to times. Change the division sign to the times sign. Second, you have to flip the second fraction. And then multiply. So, here's what we need to do. From your assignment, you have to practice this. So, in number 9, for example, use your notes and tell me what to do. Number 9, 7/3 divided by 1/3. Seven-thirds divided by 1/3. What do we have to do first? Change it to times. So we change the division to multiplication. So 7/3 times, then what? What's the second step? Somebody read the second step for me. Ariana? Oh, you didn't get the second step yet? Okay. Liz? We have to do what? Okay, we have to flip the second fraction. So from 1/3, we have to change it to 3/1. We have to flip this upside down. Okay? The reciprocal of 1/3 is what? 3/1. We have to use that number and multiply. Okay? Now, can we reduce this first? 3 and 3? Yep. So reduce it. Take out the 3's. How many are there? 1 and 1. And then multiply. 7 times 1 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. So what's the answer?
7 over 1.
Just 7, right? 7 over 1, which equals 7. Okay? Let's do this procedure again. Number 10. 3/8 divided by 3/5. What's the first step, Nate?
Change it to multiplication.
Change it to multiplication. Change it to times. Multiply the first number and flip the
3/5 into 5.
into 5/3. Right. What's the reciprocal of 3/5?
5.
Roy?
No, 5/3.
5/3. You see that? So that's the number we have to use right here. It's only the second fraction that you flip. You only flip the second fraction. The first fraction stays the same, and you only flip the second fraction. Repeat that.
You only flip the second fraction.
Then, how do we finish this? How do we get the answer?
Multiply.
You multiply. Can we reduce it first?
Yes.
Yeah, 3 over 3. Now we multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. And 8 times 1 is 8. What's the answer?
5/8.
5/8. Do we have to flip the answer?
No.
No, you don't flip the answer. Once you get 5/8, you don't have to flip that anymore. That is the answer. Okay? Any questions on using reciprocals? Jeremiah?
How do you do
Number 4. Ah, the reciprocal of 8? Okay, all you have to do for number 4 is write 8 as a fraction first. So write 8 over 1, and then find its reciprocal. What is the reciprocal of 8 over 1? 1 over 8. Yep. Okay? All right, so 1 through 14 for tomorrow.